good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world and when you are watching this video. We have an interesting case today. This came up on my radar, and it is not being widely talked about on social media at this time. It is just starting to gain some traction. This is about a man named Suchir Balaji. I may have butchered his name. I apologize. I mean no disrespect. But he was one of the developers working on ChatGPT. He was employed with OpenAI. And he and OpenAI parted ways, along with other employees that parted ways with OpenAI. Well, they all parted ways and just went on to do their own things. But Suchir, he didn't. He went out openly to claim that OpenAI, in connection with ChatGPT and other AI programs out there, were committing copyright laws. Were committing crimes dealing with copyright laws. And his claims was due to go to court. He was a witness in an investigation. And his testimony and the information that he had, hard proof, okay, probably would have bankrupted the company, and the country as a whole may have taken a hit as far as AI development. Now, he turned 21 on November 21st, 2024. And then he was found unalived in his apartment on November 22nd, 2024. The date's very interesting, I would say, because the Idaho 4, they were unalived November of 2022. So this 1122 seems to be a very significant number in the true crime community in recent years. But I digress. This is not about the Idaho 4. Okay, now I do have some probing questions. And I do have to say that this is a sensitive case. I'm going to try to tap into his energy, Suchir's energy, and see if he wants to come through. Now, his mother did like an hour-long interview somewhere. I haven't watched that interview. I heard about it, that she believes that he may even have been tortured. But we're going to see what the cards have to say, and I'm bringing a couple OGs out, in addition to Trisha's decks as well, which I will pull out in a minute if I need them. But this is one that, when I saw this, I just couldn't pass this up. Now, before I get into the reading, I got to do my disclosure. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. Just my opinion, not based on fact. My interpretation of the cards. I encourage you to do your own research, form your own opinions, throw your own cards. And, yeah, after all, I'm just a blonde throwing cards here. Okay, this is a card reading. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, what I'm getting here, this was definitely an organized crime here. We do have stranger, like an outsider, a stalker. He may have been watched, and the perpetrator saw a time of opportunity. In the field that he worked in is important with the key. Code entrance. Somebody from the outside entered his home. Okay. And I'm not sure. I might have to dig a little bit more into the field, into the land, the grounds. Okay. Maybe this could be about covering up or burying of evidence. I may or may not have to look further into that. We will see. We have a party. Justice. So that's like a search party to me, that's talking to me about an investigation party. Inside, freedom, military operation, optical illusion. Yeah, they tried to paint this as a self-harm type of thing, but it's an illusion. What it appeared to be, or what they said it wasn't. It was definitely professional, almost like military, and very well organized. Okay. Journey road, they traveled to him. Grandparent or elder. Now you have to kind of I take oracle cards with a grain of salt, and well, not with a grain of salt, but I read intuitively. The elder could be a head of something, an elder of an organization, and like allegedly speaking, a founder of an organization or a founder of a business, of OpenAI. Okay, so it almost feels like whoever actually did the deed, and I am feeling that he did not do this to himself. He suffered a bang wound to the head, and from a downward trajectory, almost from behind. So that to me doesn't sound like something that someone who is doing this to themselves would take that kind of an angle. And the scene itself, from what I understand, there was red bodily fluid splattered everywhere. I mean, all over his apartment. Not just in one location, not just on the bed or in a corner or anything. I think he was found in the bathroom. And so this was not just limited to just the bathroom. We are going to dig as to why it was being ruled as a self-inflicted. But apparently under pressure, San Francisco PD is reopening it and looking at evidence again. Now, what I do know, or what I heard, I should say, is whatever printed evidence that Suchir may have printed out was deleted. Allegedly, OpenAI deleted evidence. That's alleged, but that's what's being told out there on mainstream media. Not just another YouTube channel, but mainstream media. We're talking a division of CNN. Okay? So, but whoever did this, I don't think that Suchir knew the person personally, may have knew of him. He's coming up as a stranger who had entrance or gained entrance to Suchir's apartment. But there may have, so I'm thinking that field could be indicating a cover-up of some sort. Okay. But whoever did this, they may have military background. And being that we have an elder here, organized, road distance journey, they may not even be in the area. They are out free, sense of freedom. And yes, there's some fear inside his apartment. Justice system involved somehow. Party celebration. It's like the company as a whole felt like it was a win, that it was being ruled as self-harm. Okay. But this is very intriguing to me. Let's keep all three of these out. Actually, the stranger, the field, and the key. Okay, we'll grab him. That's the predictions. I might use the predictions in a bit. I want to look at the investigation stack. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this one. Okay, what we have here is we have undercover, ransom or note. To me, the ransom or note is almost talking, I think that is the evidence that he had, because he had it in physical form. And there was somebody who went under the cover of night. That's why it's coming up as a stranger. Okay? He may have been disguised as somebody else, may have been somebody that he knew, but was under some kind of disguise. And the purpose was to retrieve evidence that Suchir had, because they needed to clamp down WorldCard and end any forward progression as far as any lawsuits or criminal cases here against OpenAI. They needed to bury. Okay, now I understand this card. The purpose of this whole situation was to bury any evidence, make it go away, and make him, purposely disappear. They needed to put an end to that, so that evidence had to purposely disappear. And we got the yes card, which is the correct path. I'm going down the cards are on it. I'm going down in the right direction with the narrative of this case. Okay. So I kind of want to know if he knew his attacker. Aggressive attack. That's kind of what the crime scene looked like. That's what his mother was saying. You know, it was definitely looked like a purposeful attack, and it was aggressive. She thought that maybe he might have been tortured. Okay? And the purpose of that would have been to get the evidence, to get him to cough it up. Because he was due to testify, okay, as a witness. So far, I'm not seeing anything dealing with him doing this to himself. I'm seeing this as just the opposite. So, kind of want to know what his energy was. I need to switch decks at the time of his passing. And I wasn't expecting to pull this deck out, but this is the one that I am being called to. So, let's kind of get an idea about his energy at the time of his passing. What was, Suchir, what was your energy at the time of your passing? We have a lot here. Perspective, shifting focus, flow, going with it, resourceful, trying to find a way. What he's showing me so far is he tried to be resourceful. He was trying to find a way to survive, to get through it. He was kind of going with the flow, taking the treatment that was being dished out, shifting his perspective. He was shifting into survival mode, searching. And then at the time of his passing, he was kind of searching for answers. I get the energy of like anybody that suffers any kind of trauma, that when they leave their body, sometimes the soul is left a little bit confused, doesn't understand what's going on, balanced ups and downs, and we got wisdom. It's almost feeling like he was giving his attacker bite-sized pieces, but not the whole thing, is what he's telling me. And with what he gave, they weren't happy with, thought he had more, that he had more wisdom, more resources somewhere. But he had trouble keeping himself in balance. The balance thing, I think, is a physical, being knocked off balance, being knocked down. That's what I'm getting. And he's left searching or the searching could also be, they at the time of his passing, they were searching for information that he held, that he had. He was looking for the sources. They were looking for the sources and the resources. He was trying to go with the flow to keep his own balance, to keep his perspective on his goal. And it felt like his goal went from taking down the company to self-preservation. That's interesting. That doesn't sound like somebody who wanted to leave the earthly plane. Okay, I'm going to take a look with this deck here. This is very interesting. What jumped out of me, jumped out at me, was the breakthrough, or the betrayed and backstabbed, and the tech. Okay, the tech company is OpenAI. Okay? Now, OpenAI has been celebrating a lot of success, but they were feeling betrayed. So there was a surprise attack on Suchir in order to keep him quiet. And publicly, they wanted to make it appear that he acted with that fire, something heating up here in the, now this is going to start getting traction, heating up in the public. But it almost feels like they're making it look like he felt burned out. He felt like his light was done. So the surprise attack by this tech company, because they have been celebrating success. They've had a lot of breakthroughs. Now, this information, this betrayal, was threatening their security cameras, was threatening their security. So they had to keep him quiet. But there's already damage done. Minimizing the damage that has already occurred. Over here, we have foreign occupation. I believe OpenAI, the people who created it, I want to say that they're from India. And I think Suchir was Indian. I'm almost positive he was, but the founders of the company, I'm not so sure, but I don't think that they were from the U.S., but they had a presence in the U.S. Okay, in San Francisco. They may have, remember that one about the road or the travel? They may have sent somebody from India or another country to fly into San Francisco to do the deed. And now they're off scot-free because they're out of the country. This is very curious to me. This is like kind of really painting the picture of what happened to him and why it happened. Okay. I am not, and I asked when I was shuffling, show me the energy of if this was somebody else doing this or did he do this to himself. There's not one thing here, and I haven't gotten one single card yet that is suggesting that he did this to himself. Okay. And the cards are on, and I mean, I can't make this shit up. This was like an I shit you not moment. I can't make this up. Because tech company, betrayed, backstabbed, quieting somebody. That says a lot. Okay, before I dig into the main spread, I just want to get under the deck. Six of Swords. Yeah, the person. This is making me think I'm overseas. I did it. I'm not even in the area. Good luck. Good luck trying to find me. So the emperor, a ruler, somebody in large and in charge, help get somebody escape and get away. Wow. So the person that did this, they're not even in the country anymore, I do not believe. Somebody in a place of authority, could be law enforcement, just saying, allegedly speaking, that may have assisted in getting this person out of the area rather quickly. Because we have that, we have boat, meaning transportation. We've got the Five of Swords here under the deck, underhandedness, and hollow victory. You know, somebody, I feel that somebody abused their power. They may have been even bullying Suchir prior to his passing as well. I'm getting like threats coming to him that he may not have spoken about. And now, part of the cover-up was, I believe, to rule it as self-inflicted. But whoever this is, they got out of Dodge really, really quickly. Okay? Now, energy surrounding the case. We have the Queen of Swords. I think this is Mama's energy. She is heading up an investigation. She is seeking the truth of what happened to her son. This is also, the energy is justice. This is the sister to justice, to the justice card. This is truth seeking. So right now, it's about what is true and what is fabricated, because we got the Seven of Swords over here as well. What is fabricated, what is truth, bringing out the truth and bringing it to light. Okay? Like I said, San Francisco PD, as of like a couple days ago, reopened the case. Now, Suchir's energy at the time of death, we have the Queen of Pentacles protecting information, grounded, I got the goods, but also at the time of death, he was thinking about his mother. He was thinking about his mother at the time of his passing. Motive of this, or the catalyst. What was the primary catalyst or motive behind the circumstances? Okay? Cover up. Cover up. Let's lie. Let's deceive. We stole information. The catalyst is about this. This is the copyright. We lied. We stole other people's work and put into our program. And Suchir, when he left the company, he took information with him. Hard copy information. And external influences. I'll call it people on the outside, external, outside of Suchir, would created a lot of anxiety and worry. What were they worried about? They were worried about the burden that was going to be and the struggle that was ahead if he testified. And OpenAI, their role in this, creating a hardship and burden with the Ten of Wands, their role has to do with their role or related parties with OpenAI. This is the whistleblowing against OpenAI was causing a burden. I can't put it any other way. Creating a hardship for the company. Now, misleading information or cover-up information. This is the Hermit. Covering up information about, I see this about, I see multiple things in this. This is, the cover-up is how it happened in the home. Keeping that knowledge, keeping knowledge to themselves. And advice, receiving help on concealing, making sure that light shines in one direction. This is the card of self as well. Let's make this appear like he did this to himself. The Hermit card in true crime often represents the home. And as the Hermit is somebody who is wise, who is seeking something with that light, seeking the light, that it's almost like they're making it look like he was searching for something that he couldn't find. And Suchir's decided, oh, it's time for lights out. Clues yet to be discovered. Nine of Wands. There is a pattern that is yet to be discovered. A pattern, maybe not just with OpenAI, but Suchir had, I guess, was claiming other companies as well, other apps, software companies, doing similar deeds as OpenAI. And there's some kind of repetitive pattern here that is yet to be discovered that is going to help connect the dots. And I'm almost feeling like, I feel like OpenAIs are not the only people responsible for his passing. I'm feeling like there were several companies. That's what I feel like. I think it was several companies. And they're trying to narrow it down to just single-mindedness. But I'm getting a lot. I'm getting more than one. It's going to connect the dots to other people outside of OpenAI that are involved with other AI platforms. And the potential resolution, it's going to come out. I feel like the potential resolution is somebody else talking. But it's like, I will talk if I am protected in some way. But it's like, now that the eyes are getting put on this case. It wasn't at first. This happened back in November 22nd. Tomorrow, now this is being recorded on January 21st. Tomorrow will be 2 months since this happened. And I just heard about this yesterday. It's not in the mainstream of the true crime communities. And even it's not even national coverage of this. Otherwise, I think more people would have heard about this. But the resolution is going to be communication. I feel like social media is going to be key into getting a resolution to this. And I almost feel like the pressure of social media is what is pushing San Francisco PD to investigate further into this, because they were content to leave it as self-harm. but they're receiving scrutiny right now. And nobody there wants to be implemented either or connected to any kind of cover-up. So it feels like that they're being forced to reopen it and relook at it to satisfy certain scenarios. And there were other investigators that went into that apartment because all this time for the past couple months, his mother has been paying rent on that apartment and left it as is, the way it was the day that he passed. No cleanup crew, no nothing. And different hired private investigators walk in there and they're like, oh, this is a crime scene. This is not a self-unaliving. This is a crime scene. This is the big M word. Okay? So I think that is, remember that heat card that was in the predictions deck? That heat wave? I think that caused this case to heat up. Heat being put on San Francisco PD. So they have to follow up with it. Now, message from Suchir's energy. If he could communicate right now what he would like to share about his passing and the investigation. The world will be watching. The word is getting out and it is spreading. There is a divine plan at play here. This case has come to a crossroads, but there is a resolution on the way. Let me get a couple extra cards on this. On this Two of Wands. Four of Pentacles. Protection. Holding on. Guarded. Oh, somebody. He is talking, folks. He's talking. The whole reason of this was because the companies were gonna lose big money. And in order to protect their assets, he had to disappear off the earthly plane. And two involved. There were at least two people or two companies involved in this. We have a King of Cups and we have, holy shit, King of Cups, King of Swords. There you go. Two people involved. King of Swords. I don't know if I should say this. Suchir, I don't know if I can say this. Don't come after me, San Francisco. I'm just a card reader. What do I know, right? Somebody in law enforcement was part of it. That's why to cover up. A big part. And the money that would be lost to the area. King of Cups, emotional. Could be an actual water sign. Can I get some kind of confirmation on this? Seven of Pentacles. A plan. A plan for long-term growth. Going in, entering into the apartment to gather the goods of everything that they worked so long, so hard to build. It was an information gathering venture. It wasn't just to take him out. Then we have the star. The path, the goal. The goal was to get the information out of Suchir's hands. So he had no proof. And maybe they can make him look like a disgruntled employee. Moon energy. And Two of Swords. They definitely wanted to hide the real truth of what... they wanted to hide the truth about what that company was doing as far as the copyright issues, breaking copyright laws. He's telling me the intention of breaking into his apartment initially wasn't to unalive him. It was just, the goal was supposed to be get the information that he had, so that he had no evidence to present, that it'll look more like hearsay or circumstantial, like their defense could be, he's angry, we let him go, we fired him, so now he wants to come up with these allegations. He has no proof. There is no proof, because they deleted stuff on their end. And by the way, the CCTV footage is not being released. There were certain cameras that were not operational that night. How often do we see that? In these crimes, cameras not working. A lot. That's shady shit to begin with. Why have security cameras? Really? But I'm feeling like the initial was not to take him out, to just retrieve the information so that he can't go public with it, so he can't go to court with it. They wanted to hide that information so that, and then they were going to try to discredit him in court. But it feels like things did not go as planned. And things got messy. Yes, things got messy. I don't know if there's anything else that he wants to say. Hierophant, have faith, pray. And he's saying this goes up way higher than any of us can imagine. Okay, that's what I have for this reading. We'll see how this plays out. I thank you all. I love you all. Until next time, I'm dropping the mic.